Middleman.
Hello and welcome to the Middlemen of Jurors. I am Juror Evans Ufeli, and with me today are Jurors Innocent Aduluba, who will be examining the politics of rigging primaries, Olajumoke Alaude James, who has some strokes for Nigerian sacred cows, and Cyril Abaku, who has some tears for the abducted women of the IDP camps in Borno State. I will be keeping an eye on the unconscionable gas flaring in Kwale Land, Delta State. My case in a moment. Stay tuned.
Middleman.
Welcome back. The daytime in Kwale is like nightfall, and the nights like day, ruled by the fullness of gas flaring. The night flames stays like the bonfire of our campus days, turning the peace of the night into continuous chaos. Kwale and the fullness of gas flaring. The oil-rich region of Kwale in Delta State has continued to suffer from the devastating effect of gas flaring and oil spillage occasioned by the operations of multinational firms. The development is creating apprehension among communities who are apparently worried about their survival in the region. Some manifestation of climate change crisis triggered by gas flaring and oil spills include the disappearance of wildlife, fishes in the rivers, creeks and fresh water of Delta, excessive heat, shrinking vegetation, and the loss of economic trees. In my recent visit to Kwale, in Ndokwa West Council of Delta State, revealed that the area, which is surrounded by about 10 flaring racks operated by oil majors such as Ajib Oil Company, Pillar Oil Limited, Energy Oil Limited, Midwestern Oil Limited, Sterling Global Limited Liquefied Natural Gas Plant, has become a furnace of some sort. The residents hardly sleep due to the excruciating heat emanating from the flaring and hydrocarbon emission around the 5 quarters of the town, also called Ochagbogbe, namely Umusadege, Umuseti, Umusam, Esumpe, and Umusededi. Their neighbors in Ndokwa East, who are host communities to several oil wells, suffer similar environmental devastation. The history of oil exploration in Kwale dates back to the 1960-1961, when Ajib started drilling oil in the area about 40 years ago, after oil was first discovered at Oluibiri in Bayelsa State in 1956. Since then, the environment has been under threat to this day, as the operating companies have all failed to keep the environment rejuvenated. The Nigerian government isn't serious about the health hazard caused by pollution either. My verdict: the government must do everything possible to stop environmental pollution and the reckless waste of the nation's gas resources by way of flaring. If the gas flares and constant oil spillages do not stop, we are heading for a major climate change, that crisis that will engulf us all. Government must instruct the operating companies in Kwale to adhere to the provisions of the Nigerian environmental laws to save us from pollution or risk losing their licenses to operate in the area under reference. I shall go to Rabbi again.
Rabbi, this is a great intervention you're making for Kwale people.
Oh, hopefully, Rabbi will even save us.
I don't know
Yeah,
how.
so
The extreme heat that we're feeling right now is based on climate change.
Yes.
We're depleting the ozone layer by flaring gas. And the United Nations something on climate change had said eliminate gas flaring by the year 20, I think it was first 2000, 2010, 2020.
Yes, 2020. Yes.
Nigeria just doesn't, it just seems like, in fact, the oil companies are now packing their bags and leaving. We're in trouble.
Yes. So you see, I mean, just looking at the case he has made now, frankly, I'm looking at it from two perspectives. One is the fact that, before we even talk about climate change, the reason why power supply in Nigeria is at a level that we've never imagined before, the power outages,
Yes.
they said it was because of lack of gas.
Gas in the turbines.
Meanwhile,
We are flaring.
We are flaring. The problem is not the gas flaring. No. The problem is that those who should sit down to use their minds and brains to work for us in government are also flaring their senses.
Okay.
It is true now.
So it's like a concurrent flare.
The critical mass of hands
Flowing of gas, flowing of brain.
people are going to hospitals and they are dying because there are not enough hands in the hospitals to take care of them.
True.
Those who should be taking care of them are flaring and leaving the country.
Yeah.
Okay, so in a lot of ways, something has gone so bad and so wrong now. All the things we need to help us back at home
Are flaring.
they are
when you get to Kwale, once there's daybreak, and between that 8 to 3 p.m., everywhere is dark.
Jesus.
It's like
imagine
nightfall.
You can't imagine it.
Then you look at the environment. You have moist. You have, if you cook your soup. A woman told me that if you cook soup and you cover it to the next day, it gets spoiled. It gets sour the next day. Now people are walking and inhaling the emissions. Okay.
Jesus.
That's why I said night time is like day, then day like night, because the gas flaring has obstructed the order of nature in Kwale.
Wow.
It's not only people are developing different kind of ailments,
Yes,
organ
sir.
failures,
Yes.
as a result of this. But we have environmental laws, even the ones backed up by international communities, that if you must, you see, in the night, unfortunately in the night, it's like a furnace. The night is like complete daytime. When you stare into the atmosphere, you will see all the flames. There are 10 oil companies in one small location. You see all the flames. So those flames now give light to the night. So the night is like day, while the day is like night. Obstructing the order of nature. So the people there are just living the way you see.
Because they have no choice.
Yeah, you
It's
see a 20-year-old boy
looking like
a 50-year-old.
he has spent his years. And you can't imagine this much that, for example, with everything that we've gone through in Ogoni land, this sort of thing shouldn't happen any other place in Nigeria. You know that after Obasanjo commissioned UNEP to do a report on, and the report came back, federal government took it and turned it into something else.
Yes.
And begin to even implement the thing that they turned it into. That's why nobody talks about going land today anymore. Because in fact, as I'm talking to you now, there's
a cleanup that was introduced.
That's what I'm saying now.
Who is now vice deputy?
That was to be chaired by the former Judge Governor.
No,
Vice
the
President
problem is this.
Oshibajo.
See, and that's where I'm going. All the things that UNEP recommended, the 5 emergency measures and everything,
Yes.
but that turned everything on its head.
Wow.
And went and forward what they call hybrid, which was not part of what UNEP recommended.
Yes.
What I think what we say was that make it a law and have a government body responsible. You know, like the IDPs, what Guanana did was that he just gazetted something and said, okay, from the body called hybrid, the powers of that body and what they have to do with the locals, nothing is clear. And according to there's even repollution.
Pollution, yeah.
You have children of 5-6 years having cancer.
Wow.
So you imagine that if we had Ogoni, and somebody even told me that Ogoni land is not even the worst hit. That if you went to Bayelsa, the regulator that been wiped is as if
Completely. Yes.
Wow.
Wildlife, aquatic life.
So the question is how now. So for example, the Ogoni case became a global issue.
Yes. Because of Tanzania
and then because what UNEP recommended had not happened any other place in the world. So the Ogoni cleanup was the first of its kind anywhere in the world.
Yes.
What they used to could have also have done it as the book recommended.
Rejuvenate.
And take it as a test case. Maybe now in Kwale could have gone to Kwale, could have done it, but what they've done that with the way they bungled the Ogoni case, federal government is as if they have no ideas of normally should there be a environment, bodies like NESIA, bodies like DPRO, in like says that this happening in Kwale and nobody saying anything about it.
Unfortunately, even Shell, right, who was, because when the Ogoni cleanup was initiated and enforced, and I think even put to law by Amina Mohammed, she was Minister of the Environment then, before she went to become DG of the United Nations.
Yes, she went for mission.
She said 40% of the cleanup will be federal government, 60% of it will be Shell.
Yes.
Right?
Counterpart funding.
Counterpart. Where is Shell today? Are they not packed their bags?
Shell is gone. I think they sold their.
To Renaissance, right?
Who will be Renaissance that will take up the responsibility of the Ogoni cleanup?
I'll give a very simple example. Chevron is also
On its rollout.
they have issues with their pensioners.
Yes.
And they are saying that if Chevron takes the work through the door,
That's it.
the new company that takes over
Will not take on the responsibility.
will have no obligation to those pensioners.
Yes.
Okay, so this is the politics that they play. You know, we're talking about Shell leaving. Even when they say federal will do 40%, do you know why the IOCs don't take us seriously? The day they say somebody from Nestle or Minister of Development wants to go and do supervision of a site at any of these places, who do you think funds those trips?
Sure.
It's not federal. Exactly. So will they carry their burden on the same and be going like that?
I agree.
That's my own thing.
It will not work.
Kwale is favorably located. It has a lot of proximity to that great river Niger. So naturally, it's in the greenery is not in question. Fertile land. Some of Nigeria's best cassavas grow from that place. Palm oil and the rest of them. So you mentioned environmental law. I'm wondering what are the letters on the environmental law? Who are the enforcers of the environmental law? What are they saying about the environmental law? Kwale people, Ukwane and the rest of that area have people who represent them at Asaba, at Delta State House of Assembly,
And at the
have
federal.
people in the National Assembly, whether House of Rep or Senate. What is the volume of their voices?
Yes.
Are they representing this dying
Or misrepresenting.
people?
Or representing themselves.
The governor himself is a statewide representative of the people.
Yes.
True.
And all these companies you've mentioned are foreign companies.
Yeah.
I was waiting to hear an indigenous one.
There's
So
there's
foreigners
one
are-
indigenous one there.
Good. So this is a conglomeration of foreign
Companies.
wealth
Yes.
conspiring to kill natives in
Native
their land.
in their land.
I think all the buck for me stops at the doorstep of the government.
I agree.
When we return, Juro Innocent will be giving primaries election riggers a chase in Edo State. Stay tuned, don't go anywhere.
Middleman.
Welcome back. You're still watching the Middlemen of Jurors on Enterprise TV, holding the tradition of truth. My case, the politics of rigging at primaries. And I'm asking the question, why do political parties in Nigeria recognize factional congresses and election results? We must recall that election is the opportunity for the electorate to vote somebody of their choice into a particular segment to represent them. Today it's playing out in Edo State where this situation has reached a crescendo. The incumbent deputy governor, a prominent character in this saga, is now a governorship aspirant, Philip Shaibu, and he had stormed the PDP headquarters demanding a certificate of return right there in Abuja. As the National Secretariat of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Shaibu is insisting to be given the certification as the winner of the primary, or else the court will decide. However, two candidates, Philip Shaibu himself and Asue Hodalo, emerged as the 2024 Edo governorship candidates of the party after parallel primaries were conducted in the state on February the 22nd. Shaibu was declared the winner with 301 votes by Bartholomew Moses and a group of delegates who met in a building on Commercial Avenue in Benin, while Ighodalo won in another primary that was held at the Samuel Ogbemudia Stadium, winning with 577 votes as declared by Zamfara State Governor Dauda Lawal, who was the chief returning officer. Dauda announced that Ighodalo scored these votes while his closest rival, Philip, scored only 1 vote. He said Anselm Ojezua Usaro Onaiwu and Felix Akabwe Martins Uhomoibi, Hadizat Umoru and Arthur Eseli scored 0 votes, while Omogi Ogbede Hama and Omosede Gbinedion withdrew from the race. Now, only yesterday before we came to sit here, the members of the Edo State House of Assembly had served the Deputy Governor, Philip Shaibu, a notice to commence impeachment. Comrade Shaibu has 1 week to respond to this on why he shouldn't be impeached. Now, my verdict is, can the leadership of any party, in this case the People's Democratic Party, issue an official statement to authenticate the chief returning officer for the day and quell these umpires for the sake of peace across Edo State?
No, but it's a good case with me. But I think that by the overwhelming support that I see Answe getting, Ighodalo, I think by and large all the critical voices are behind Mr. Ighodalo. Even Atiku Abubakar yesterday or 2 days ago came out to publicly say he was commending and supporting or backing Ighodalo as candidate of the party.
But let me ask you my question is, can PDP tell us this is the person we sent? This is the primaries he supervised. This is the result brought. So this is the one we are going with. Or they will be quiet.
I know, but you know,
goes on.
they've already handed Ighodalo the certificate of return.
Am I right?
Yes.
Yes, they are. And then when Shaibu went to
ask for it.
they didn't
I think there's a corner of the story that the media did not accentuate. That Shaibu first of all went to the Samuel Stadium, was not allowed in. Before he went and conducted a parallel one,
So,
where he now got his own delegate, I don't know where from, and conducted,
and he became the winner.
and he became the winner.
Because he was
so it seems like for the PDP, they would have concurrent primaries. Because I remember Banky W's primaries too. They had it somewhere else. He won his own. By the time they declared, he was somebody else. Then when it comes to APC and primaries, it is a consensus candidate. Because I know a candidate who was very sure that he was going to win the APC primaries because he said he was from Edo Central and that governors of Edo State have always come from either north or south, and that this time the center was clamoring. Eventually he just came to us because he's a professional and an engineer, so he had garnered professionals asking for our support, and then in November, or was it December, he came to us and said the party has said that they were choosing a consensus candidate. So after they've told professionals, right, when we ask for technocrats to come into politics and use their expertise to help us out of the quagmire that Nigeria has become, then political parties tell them, go and sit down, we have chosen our consensus. Then consensus will now be Cyril, Jumoke, and Evans, just so that it looks like we're having a semblance of primaries.
No, but for the Edo case in this particular primaries for APC, the primaries actually produced the first primaries produced 3 candidates. 3 persons won at the same time.
Imagine.
One, not parallel primaries. So I'm talking about
At the same primaries.
Yes, that was how they now sacked Imo State Governor.
Who presided over?
Yeah, so he was. Now they did another one where somebody now emerged, but there are still voices.
Please let me just laugh small.
that
What was Odima? Why is calculation always the issue? Whenever he is involved, that's how we came from. That's how we came from Ford to become governor. Now he's conducting primaries.
He didn't come from
Where did he come from?
He won the election. Yes, his vote were not counted. We've said this over and over again that part of his vote in that election was not counted.
So was it the policeman who brought the vote that was the INEC official
It's a
that
counterpart
was
copy.
supposed?
A counterpart copy. And once there is no any other argument, that is rebutting it, it means admission under the law.
But by the time it was now added together, right,
He won the
votes were now more than voters. I remember the scenario very well.
Yes.
Hold on, I want you to answer for that. That votes.
Is in Edo because
Votes were, it wasn't proven. It wasn't proven.
No, but we did the calculation. Votes were now more than verified voters.
And that's the calculation you did now, but the calculation...
Right, that was it.
Odima came from 4th to become
Governor, God bless you. Finish.
It did not come from...
Juro Evans was giving us from a legal perspective. But a layman on the street, there was a miracle of 4th
to first.
But the question now is in Edo State, right, where the PDP and APC have held primaries. The one who was Odima organized it the first time, he said the winner was Dennis Idahosa. Then another person who said he was representing all the returning officers across the state said the winner was the other guy. I can't pick his name now. Then the third person said the winner was Monday. Adams Oshomole, who is part of the problem in the whole thing, went to meet the president. Came out and said that he had got the president's note. That the president said there was no zoning in Edo whatsoever. Meanwhile, the clamor was supposed to come from Edo Central. Is that not good? So eventually, when he came out and said, the president said the thing open. Clearly, Easy Yamu's withdrawal from the ticket was strategic. So they're able to go back and rally behind somebody that they thought should win, if only to start with Shomole. Well, that's the problem in Edo APC. This is
having problem with the former governor of Ekiti State.
And they saw
Shomole having issues with him.
Yes.
Because yes.
So and what the former governor Fayemi said, you are not impose a candidate on a party. So now when they went for the second primaries, the line that came out was that Ozodima said he was no longer available for
to preside.
So he went and brought Basio from Cross River. The man comes.
I just think that APC for me shouldn't include the bringing infant governors. Ozodima was the first timer. This Basio too is just...
No, but Ozodima played the role in the 2023 general election. I think it was the... during the Congress.
He was
during the Congress. He was the chairman of the committee.
So these are states where I might be wrong. APC in Imo and the Uzodinma victory is still on a swinging pendulum. Now, Utu is an APC governor from Cross River State, a land alien to APC. It seems these governors are carrying out the behest of the party, like with no options to refuse.
Yes,
with no. I don't know. You got a coronation, so that's compensation you must respond to duty.
That is what
But there are more experienced governors than this same Otu.
But I could rule that both parties should not present any gubernatorial candidates. Why? Because of parallel primaries, where a party, the Electoral Act said that a political party should conduct just a primary, and you should have your nominee, that name must be sent 90 days before election. Okay, that is the law. But here, politicians will balkanize the entire structure. They will start to hold primaries in different locations and producing different candidates. So the Supreme Court said they cannot handle this mess. That the two. Now, if the small political parties in Edo State, what they should do is to put their house in order proper, because at the end of the day, we may not have candidates for PDP and APC in Edo State. If we continue litigation...
Like you rightly said, Labour Party's Akpata is sitting pretty.
we are loving him.
Very well.
But unfortunately, you can't vote in Edo State.
But I think that to solve this matter permanently, this thing should not be far-fetched. The simple thing to do is get letter body, what do they call it in the party secretariat, and a few secretariats nationwide. why can't the parties vote electronically? It's an internal issue. Delegates are coming to vote. Is that not so?
Yeah.
How the place where they just come.
Whatever, if it's a phone or your iPad or whatever, just punch and we'll just see the numbers on the screen.
It's devilish.
If you do that, they will not be able to track you with your vote and the amount of dollars given to you. They need to. It's primaries. It's money. It's not an election. They are giving you $10,000, for example. They now say you should go home and go and press button. How would they know whether you press the one that they
No, you come to the stadium or the venue now and press the button and press. No, give me.
I got screenshots.
No, they have an undercover. You
I've done an electronic voting before where the candidate you are voting for, if before I vote it was 21, when I vote it will be 22. Just that, like you said, there is anonymity. There would be no recognition.
Oh, yes.
So, Cyril, that's your transparent option, is to let us Nigeria.
We vote for Big Brother Nigeria every year.
Let's go on. The Big Brothers don't emerge governors. We will be proceeding with the middlemen of jurors now. You see how the debates are getting interesting. I will be bringing in the Queen of the House, Juror Olajumoke. She'll be speaking to the cost of indulging sacred cows in Nigeria. Please don't go away.
Middleman.
Welcome back to the Middlemen of Jurors. My case, Nigeria Secret Cows. Did you follow investigative journalist Fisayo Shoyombo's expose on smuggling and customs officials being culpable in Nigeria? IBD Dende was shown in several clips threatening fully armed customs officials. Dende alluded to the fact that he saw the custom bosses contraband trucks, 4 of them, smuggling rice and no one arrested them. My goodness, customs boss on the smuggle rice. Arise TV spoke about the matter. Channels TV interviewed Fisayo Shoyombo, but the Nigerian government has stayed quiet. IBD Dende must be among Nigeria's sacred cows. Fisayo exposed that Dende has been arrested by the Nigerian customs several times. I guess he has now become a regular customer. They are now afraid of him. He will run for governor of Ogun State. Nothing will happen. He may even run for president and nothing will still happen. There are more equal animals in this jungle. The rest of us will only complain at home, on social media, and life goes on. My verdict: Nigeria crossed the line of a failed state many, many years ago. Check all the indices, we tick them. Even war-torn Ukraine is now sending us grain. When will we disband and refuse to worship our sacred cows?
This, your case has opened a new vista to the overwhelming corruptive tendency of the Nigerian states. The institutions, the custom inclusive, is a very strategic institution that is a gateway into the country. And if you have that institution that represents a gateway into the country corrupt or corrupted, it means that if you clean the corruption in every other institution, you'll still be struggling with the fragmentation of corruption because your gateway is rotten. Now, it is through the mouth that food gets into the intestine. Now, if the mouth is bad, it will corrupt the food from the mouth into the intestine, and you have ailments. So the ailment of the Nigerian state is because you have
a rotten mouth. You have
a rotten mouth. You have a custom that have no discipline.
Unfortunately,
you see, Fisayo said it that you can bring anything,
including weapons. You see, the way Fisayo is so bold, the way he's even asking the customs every day
Yes.
that the ammunition that IBD they brought into the country August of 2022, what did they do with it?
What did
they sell it like the bags of rice that they sold at 10,000, or did they return his ammunition to him? He's asking them boldly.
The motorcycle they bring in for insurgents to use, the drugs and all. You see, it is anytime you are caught. Fisayo said it. Anytime a container, truckload, or whatever contraband is arrested, it means those people have refused to settle.
My goodness.
That's what it means. So when we praise custom,
it means somebody has said
we're getting it wrong because somebody has refused to settle. That is why they are able to arrest them. And what they do is immediately they arrest, they call a press conference to cover up their tracks. So that they now look at it and say they are doing so well. Nigeria should be making more money from custom than they're making. The largest concentration of black on earth is Nigeria. So that gateway, no matter the amount of money they say they generate for the federal government and us, there are still huge leakages because a lot of contraband are coming to the country through the bush, through the back door, through all kind of places. They are just,
An addendum, Jura Innocence, we actually even forgot that for Fisayo to get onto this case when they had on body cam recording what was happening between IBD Dende and customs officials, what he had done was smuggled in rice.
Yes, he brought in rice.
That, for instance, he went to Nigerian prison to expose the corruption there. So he wanted to expose the corruption in the customs. So he went to bring in rice. It was while doing that he stumbled on this. We even forgot that his rice got in, because he paid the other riders, paid the customs officials, paid everybody.
Recently, we took a comic assessment of Juro Abaku's
case
about bags of rice passing through the eyes of the custom agents and the numbers keep shrinking.
I remember that case.
Yes, there is a pragmatic, undisputable report on this.
Yes.
I think the Nigerian customs are making huge money. If you want to check how much the tax vehicles, the legitimate business of Nigeria, how sharp the increase has been.
Yes, a woman
spoke on radio that her children sent her clothes, 60,000 naira from abroad. She got to the port and they asked her to pay 200,000. So she left the clothes there. Sorry, and this is an indictment just this week. Katsina, Benue, Borno had people killed. We have mentioned that tacitly, the Nigerian state, through the custom, is giving tacit support to terrorism. Because there are weapons crossing borders. And secondly, a worse crime is that gun possession in Nigeria, arms possession is illegal. Here is a lawyer. Without license. We see a lot of these men with their cattle with the guns, and I'm yet to see
them arrested.
Not arrested. They have been asked to produce
the license.
And so these people are always linked to killings. So it looks to me, the topic is in a cycle. You carry gun on license, you go and kill people. These people now live in IDP camp and hunger. No family.
What Fisayo did now was to do a cross-border operation. Before now, he took a stolen car. He took a stolen car, drove to Abuja.
And nobody stopped him.
Paid his way through. Drove the car back to Lagos and paid his way through. And came out to tell the Nigerian public that this car is a stolen car. You can steal a car in Nigeria and drive it everywhere. As long as you are paying your way through, nobody will arrest you.
I wanted to give figures because you mentioned that Fisayo mentioned that you can bring in anything. So in his report, he mentioned that IBD Dende had been arrested for bringing in tramadol. And he takes them to the north. He brings in weapons for powerful politicians. But how did he do it a few months before general elections, and we do not know what happened to that ammunition? I was just going to mention that by 2020, Nigeria had, out of the 500,000 small arms lying around in west of Africa. Nigeria had 350,000 of them.
Where
Those
are
are official figures.
Those are official figures. Think about the unofficial figures. You remember former customs DG Amid Ali, every other market day, he would confiscate containers with ammunition.
Anyway, talking about sacred cows, we live in a country of political miracles. Today, under somebody's watch, a snake will swallow how many million dollars?
Millions.
You know? And I was going to think that.
And these snakes are never
Yes,
arrested.
by the principle of individual responsibility.
You cannot even arrest me, but what of the ones
So
who-
it is in my child that the money that you will arrest me. So I'll go and look for the snake or the monkey.
I have great for this country, honestly speaking. I don't know what we've sold our souls to, whether it's to money,
It's the money.
or whether it's to the devil, or whether it's to desperation, or whether it's to because
Do you know, I wanted to just ask a question, right? Because you and I just agreed that we sold our souls to money. But unless and until we start to praise, we give Juror Cyril the award for being the most honest. We give Juror Evans the award of returning monies that. So we gave him extra code $10,000. No. It's because what we celebrate. Look, our men of God. Hold on. May I finish on that? Our men of God, our testimonies, even in church. I don't know about what. It's about hold on. May I finish?
I know what she's saying.
It's that what we are praising is what people will chase after.
Yes.
If you devalue the we say we have commercialized material things. If you devalue that somebody bought a car and don't make it seem like anything, you bought a car in the UK, we are not going to celebrate you or we are going to praise God in church because the Prime Minister is inside trade.
You don't even need a car then.
So in church, we are coming to say, my son, he bought a house, he bought a car. Thank God. In fact, how many of us go to go and thank God now that he graduated? It's about your material things that we are praising. Unless and until we devalue materialism and start to praise honest people and start to carry the Okonjo rollers, the Obi Ezekiel the Ribadu used to carry him shower on our head and make it be about morals and ethics and values and not about.
This is my point. My point is, if a local government chairman, councillor, governor, or state assembly all take salaries around a lecturer's salary.
I agree on that point also.
If you ask me, that's where this glorification of materialism. Do you know this? We are just talking Edo primaries now. Why the vicious and capricious struggle?
True.
Is access to resource control and confiscation in the direction of compensation for a section of supporters
I agree.
to the detriment of the Commonwealth.
And then, in addition to that, you see where I was going. What you call religion today is a place people are going to find solace.
I
That's what
agree.
they're looking for.
I agree.
Anybody promising them that thing, they will follow him.
They follow him.
But as the government came and said, I'm going to give you jobs and everything, each citizen of my state pays 100,000 naira. As if one was stealing from the security vote and budget was not enough.
One governor said that his citizens will get job in the
In Europe. So the people donated 100 until the
They have companies in Europe.
So
they will get job there.
yeah, I mean, let's not take the few things out of the picture. then the next day came and said that he was making them start rabbit farming. The one where I was going with this, poverty is a problem.
It's a big problem.
Poverty is one of the benchmarks of third world or developing countries.
Yes.
So people are looking for how to escape it.
By all means.
I
No.
I absolutely disagree. Can I scatter the ground
Why
here?
are Nigerians?
Listen,
Americans in America.
forget Nigerians.
America don't need certificates to prosper.
Yes.
You can act. You can do something. Just go and look for, you will prosper. Nigerians in America are don't look for certificates. Because they know that in America, maybe
It will count.
It will count. And then, if they have to come back home to Nigeria, it's nothing they need.
Expatriate.
Even though that's been eroded too.
Hold on.
That has also been eroded.
Nigeria is the richest country in west of Africa.
Okay.
Do we agree on that?
We are.
Now, you go to Ghana, you go to Republic of Benin, you go to Togo, a country of relatively poor people. They're not driving SUVs as we drive.
They don't.
Right? You get there. The 24-year-old man, he's wearing t-shirts and whatever kind of trousers. It's not about he's wearing designer. Hold on. That's what I'm heading to.
The culture.
Hold on, sir. He will bring his cities, turn it into millions of naira to come and buy products in Nigeria to go and sell in his country, right? Entrepreneurship. He may not have a house. He's living in one small coconut kiosk. They are content, and because wealth is not glorified, it is hard work. I was trying to take a company, an American company in Nigeria to Ghana, and the Ghanaians that we were speaking to were saying, sorry, if you do not register properly in Ghana, that when they are selling the products on the streets, people will not buy from them. They will say, these people, they are illegal. Why if people agree that we as a people want to be upright and stick,
Nigerians would have agreed, but it's becoming too late. I am almost not going to agree because in the 80s, in the early 80s, the late 70s, early 80s, we know how Nigeria was then.
Yes.
In those days.
We were not as materialistic.
Yeah, in those days. You see, when you step out from the house,
yes,
you are looking whether any of your neighbors, before you do anything wrong.
Yes.
Your parents don't need to get at you.
Yes.
A neighbor will see
correct you.
And yes, they will call you. They will call you to come. And they'll ask you what you are. The next thing your parents are aware, they will collectively deal with you in those days. You understand? Now we have started building high fences, building prisons, where we lock ourselves indoors and we're minding our business. The influence of the West has so eroded who we are that today we don't know who we are, whether we're Africans or we're the West.
Exactly.
So it's already very too late. And now the politicians now went further to complicate the issues by, embezzling what is meant to develop the country, and then using it to
oppress
our
us.
faces.
Oppress the rest of us.
That this is the standard.
My generator pass your
Yeah, then before you know it, people could not find employment. They started doing fraud, internet fraud. Everybody, at the end of the day, you can't really hold any part.
We no longer have a Nigerian moral.
Yes, that one is completely gone.
Yeah.
And even the children that are growing up today, you understand, they are committing, children that are between the ages of 5, 6, 7, they will buy a sachet gogoro in their bag.
Is it like
Yes, now. Is that not what they want to ban it? The next generation has picked up from where the old left it. They buy sachet this and put in their bags when they are going to school. Yeah. All over the place. Yeah. That is the reason NAFDAC even came against this sachet something.
My goodness.
Yes, so they are building a generation that's going to, shut down the whole place. That's where we are. So it's late. It's quite late. So we need not just redemption. We need something bigger and stronger than redemption.
Jura Evans says that it is late for
late.
Nigeria. Is it truly late? When we come back, Juror Cyril Abaka will head to Gamboru Ngala, where hundreds of women IDPs have been kidnapped. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Middleman.
You're welcome back to the Middleman of Jurors. My case, Borno women IDPs kidnapped. We are at one of those moments again. There are at least 3 versions of this story. One says 319 women are missing. The UN put the figure at 200, while the initial story said no fewer than 100 women were kidnapped. But the story really is that some women who stepped outside the IDP camp in Gamboru Ngala specifically, to fetch firewood, were kidnapped by terrorists believed to be Islamic State of West Africa province fighters. You might as well ask, what's really happening? But what's really happening is not a new question. What's really happening is an old question. Former President Goodluck Jonathan had the Chibok girl saga. Buhari had Dapchi girls, and now Tinubu has the Gamboru Ngala, not girls, but women. Buhari actually had several such episodes, if you know what I mean. We should not be talking about what, but really about whom. Or does it not stand to reason that the only fail-safe line of thought to pursue is to assume that the pattern calls for asking whether someone somewhere isn't actually supervising what is going on? As Professor Shoyinka recently said, Nigeria may do whatever it wants, to and with itself, but Nigerians must not pay the price for Nigeria. Here's my verdict. We must pick up the moles enabling this insecurity, and the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces must set a definite date to end terrorism in Nigeria. I so rule.
That is what the
Dates that they have been setting since.
No, that is what the serious government should do.
Buhari set dates now.
Buhari's government was an irresponsible
Buhari
government.
said
I agree.
he will end Boko Haram in 3 months.
So, yes.
I agree.
What a responsible government should do at every point in time is to give deadlines for which they are going to address issues. The issues of hunger, give us a deadline. The issues of insecurity, give us a deadline. And it is the citizens that should make these demands.
I agree.
The citizens should make this demand. If the government fails to do that, then the citizens should take down the government.
Yes.
Because the citizens employ the government to act. So, but when the citizens are unable to congregate and aggregate effectively because of interests, tribalism, nepotism, and a whole lot of ethnic issues that have bedeviled our cohesion, what it means, therefore, is that
Logistics.
the IDPs have been abandoned. These are people who are already aggrieved. These are people who are the fragmentation after annihilation. What were the people that they took to the IDPs, those who were able to escape. These are people who are aggrieved, that have lost children, that have lost brothers, that have lost parents. Now, they have been abandoned to fend for themselves, to go fetch firewood, to go do the... You see, under emergency, the state should take over the security and welfare of the people. You understand?
When soldiers were giving them food, they used to sleep with the soldiers to give them food. You remember that?
That story is there. The story is there. Now, they are being kidnapped. Some of them were also victims of kidnapping in the past.
Yes, before they brought them to the IDP camp.
You understand? So, I mean, you have children there whom their state government has failed, the federal government has failed, their parents, and all that. So,
is there a solution inside?
So this is a big problem. So, and the worst part of it is that the Tinubu administration does not even care about managing the situation of the Nigerian state. It goes about bragging all over the place and all that, stating the issues, the real problem of the country is not addressed.
But Akpabio just yesterday said that Nigeria is safer under Tinubu. How will Tinubu know?
That is an answer. That's our service.
I think you should not bring...
I should not leave Akpabio.
Don't bring comedy into this.
No, just leave it.
Akpabio sits as the Senate president. Why? Can you count the number of security attaché around him?
But I'm not aware if the federal government has issued a statement on this kidnapping.
No, I'm coming, yes.
No, nothing like that.
No, I'm coming. So,
aside from the secretary,
It's on Sunday.
Yes.
Sorry, and if not for that, Daily Trust brought this matter up. We didn't hear about it prior.
thank you. So,
Nobody had anything about until was it yesterday?
Yes.
Nobody even had anything about it. It happens since on Sunday.
you know that the Chibok girls' abduction happened April 14, 2014. We didn't hear about it until April 21 because Chibok is far from town.
The Burunga is on the border of Cameroon. The least they could have done, okay? Even 20 women is not easy to kidnap now.
Exactly. Because of between 100 and 319.
that's why I'm
That which means that these terrorists come around the camp and have some kind of a lot. You might not understand it.
First, our citizens.
And they're what they do now.
And the government has abandoned them.
They deliver them to the terrorists. No. You look at the matter. Who has the authorizing power from the camp to say, okay, if what you need firewood, go and get firewood? Because they want to
release 100 persons at the same time.
At the same time,
That camp must be a firewood factory.
because 100,
What are they cooking?
more than 100.
They are cooking.
You see, the question is this.
They are cooking beans.
From the amount of money that they even got for IDP camps, are you not sure that they would have budgeted for them to be
Firewood or gas?
So this is my point. If you look at the numbers banded here, you were
Between 100 and 219.
Even that 46.
We have 300.
It's supposed to be an impossible case.
That movement is a caravan.
Jesus.
Of course, it has to be. It is a caravan. It's an exodus.
Yes.
And it's too large not to be noticed.
Okay.
And this paints the picture of how excellently lackadaisical our government
I'm
are
telling you.
with regards to the value for life.
For a failed state.
And like Juro Evans has said, this is an abandoned group of people. Because people refuging in an IDP camp are not responsible for their firewood.
I agree.
You are like, that's
Yeah, we will take them to a camp. They take them well.
You see, by now we should be talking about resettling them.
Back to their homes.
Many of them have been there for 6 years.
Yes.
Many of them are the offshoot of the Agatu and all those crises and all
Yes.
that.
Yes.
There are many IDPs, not just that one. That one is just one out of
Yeah,
many.
we have over 200 camps.
So we should be talking about resettlement. Federal government by now ought to have built houses
That they can go in.
3 bedrooms, Governor
Zulum was doing that.
You let them inside the bush, they ask them to go and look for firewood.
Governor Zulum was doing that in trying to
I don't
resettle.
know this country. I'm tired of this country.
When you talk of, like, taking from the quality, sustainability borders on ESG. Environmental, social and governance. In this case, the sustainability leg on the tripod of governance is failing.
Completely.
And like you've mentioned, the primary responsibility of any government
Is to protect.
is the popular implementation of the programs of the masses.
Yes.
Securing them
Yes.
and making sure they can be catered for, or the environment is enabling for them to peacefully conduct their businesses.
Yes.
All these topics are interwoven, and that's where Fisai Oshoyombo risked his own life.
Yes.
Farmers are living in IDP camp, their farms are abandoned, they are not farming.
Yes.
As we speak now, those are people's mothers, sisters, wives, and there is the vulnerability of the...
I don't know.
Good question though.
What did they give them to go and get firewood?
I don't know.
Machete.
No, it's just cutlass, and then you break shrubs.
Who supplied the cutlasses?
Okay, who gave the report that they were going for firewood?
No, that is.
So there are many questions in this case. So.
That person should tell us.
It was like the Chibok girls' abduction. There were no answers. The only things we knew were, number one,
They were writing exams.
when said bring them to Borno to write, the vice president, then governor said no, Chibok is come and do the exam in Chibok. The night they went to kidnap.
Look at it now. Shetima is now vice president.
The principal at Chibok was not around.
I had gone to Borno for medical checkup. The no security was on ground. The gate was open. Everywhere was just open for them to come and kidnap them. Then
The principal should be.
later on, the principal was made commissioner for.
Yes, for you.
In Borno State.
That governor is now vice president.
And we expect that
Jumoke, you can see how, like we were talking certificates,
Reward of failure.
credentials people ride to the top.
Rewarding failure. And Obasanjo President Obasanjo said it to us that we cannot reward failure and expect change.
It's sad. It's very sad.
It's such a pity. Anyway, sound like on last note, we've come to the end of today's program. But honestly, I must thank my jurors and hope that.
Oh, let's end it on a good note. That is my birthday.
By the next time,
It's my birthday. Let's end it on a happy note.
Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
Innocent, what have you got for her?
Well, I wish her forward ever.
Amen.
I wish her health and wealth.
Amen.
May she have all the good reasons to keep smiling.
Amen.
Her smile is infectious.
Yeah. Once again,
Akpabana.
a very happy birthday.
Thank you so much.
All right, until we come away again, we implore you to like our page and subscribe to our channel on YouTube, and also leave a comment on all the matters we've raised on this program. We are at Enterprise TV 7. The same handle applies across our social media platforms. Once again, thanks for being with us on this episode. Bye.
Middleman. Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.